I'm dedicating this message to the Executive Director of UNAIDS, Winnie Byanyima. First of all, I want to extend my appreciation to all you do, all you have done in the past, what you do currently, and what you continue to do for our country, Uganda, and the entire world. Thank you so much. Now, shortly after the arrest of Dr. Kizza Besigye, your husband, you had an opportunity that few people get. An opportunity where you're being watched by almost an entire world. You were hosted by Jeff Koinange on Citizen TV to explain what happened when Dr. Kizza Besigye was arrested in Kenya, abducted actually, transferred to Uganda and kept under military detention, charged with trumped-up charges. An innocent journalist, Jeff Koinange, asked, what happened? These were best of friends. These were buddies. I mean, they were comrades. Dr. Kizza Besigye was a friend, was a doctor to Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. What happened? I'll let this play, and I'll come back on the other side, and I'll explain how you didn't meet the expectations, and I would ask why. But for now, here's the question of Jeff Koinange.
Yeah. Tell me something. These two were best of friends at one point, weren't they? Dr. Kizza Besigye and Yoweri Museveni. They were best of. In fact, Dr. Kizza Besigye was his personal doctor. What went wrong?
I wouldn't say best of friends. They were comrades in a struggle to liberate Uganda from dictatorship. I was in that struggle with them too. We were comrades, yes, with good relations. But I think along the way, after we won that war, we disagreed. And it's not only him. There are many people who along the way felt that the vision, the mission, that the movement had walked away from it. So the president doesn't take differences easily and doesn't make room for disagreement. So one by one, many senior leaders, I could say most senior leaders of the national resistance movement, have either retired, walked away, or gone into opposition. That's the sad reality of a liberation movement that lost its mission.
Yeah, what a shame.
All right. In your response, you say, I was in that struggle with them too. We were comrades, yes, with good relations. But I think along the way, after we won that war, we disagreed. And it's not only him, there are many people who along the way felt that the vision, the mission, that the movement had walked away from it. So the president, you're referring to Mr. Museveni, doesn't take differences easily, and it doesn't make room for disagreements. One by one, many senior leaders, I could say, most of the senior leaders of the national resistance movement have either 1, retired, 2, walked away, 3, gone into opposition. And you conclude saying that's a sad reality of a liberation movement that lost its mission. Now, Mama Winnie, if someone was listening to you referring to a politician in a liberal democracy, they would understand you. I mean, in liberal democracies like the USA, like many in Europe, when you have disagreements, this is what you choose to do. You either retire, you walk away from some political ideologies or affiliations, or you oppose. These are the 3 choices you think that, those friends, comrades who fought with Museveni chose to do. If you are referring to a liberal democracy, that's okay. But you're referring to a dictator. This man who has administered a regime. You had an opportunity of painting a clear image of who Museveni is. He's a tyrant. He's a dictator. It gives me some vibes of trying to sanitize a man who survives on shedding blood. You had an opportunity to speak to the world, to tell them who Museveni is. A man who has made your husband cry.
You know, our struggle has been very costly to those who want change. You know, many people have died, many people are maimed. It's emotional.
A man who led to the death of your brother-in-law, Chifefe, who died in 2007. A man that has tear gassed, pepper sprayed, imprisoned your husband.
It looks more like a movie scene than real life as police, together with plainclothes security operatives, smashed the windows of Besij's car using claw hammers and pistols at about 10:30 a.m. Liquid tear gas in huge amounts was then sprayed inside the car, forcing Besije and his aides to come out. Besije was bundled into a waiting police pickup truck and whisked off to an unknown destination.
Let him go!
For so many times. Now I understand. You and him have some sort of family chemistry. In the past, your dad, Mr. Byanyima, told us when Museveni lived with you in the same household when he was going to Mbarara High School. But your husband walked away because they believed this man became contrary to the ideologies, to the mission, and to the vision of the National Resistance Army that morphed into the National Resistance Movement. Unless you say, I still hold that bond we had, but you should be able to paint a clear image to the nation, to the world. Who Museveni is a dictator, a bloodthirsty dictator. Reports over reports every year of how his security organs are the leading violators of human rights in Uganda. And how do they violate human rights? They abduct, torture, and murder innocent people. You had an opportunity of telling the world of what happened in the last election, of what happened in the past 4 elections where Dr. Kizza Besigye won. You had that opportunity. But this sounds like sort of sanitizing Mr. Museveni. He's a dictator. You had an opportunity of telling how Museveni and Musevenism as an ideology is spreading slowly by slowly in East Africa and the entire Africa like a virus. I mean, a man who said the problem of Africa are leaders who overstay in power is almost clocking 40 years. He's now mentoring a man who is employing the same tactics he uses, William Ruto. Abduct, torture, kill your political opponents. And now William Ruto is attempting to amend the constitution of Kenya, just like Museveni did. That is Museveni's culture spreading to Kenya. Of recent, I saw a clip where Salva Kiir Mayardit of South Sudan, he was asked, haven't you done enough? And I think it was asked by Jeff Koinange, don't you think you should walk away? And then it was like, walk away, go where?
I don't know. They want to force me out of this office. And so,
why not just walk away from it all then? You can walk away. You've done your bit.
Where?
Walk away. Retire.
Where do I walk? I walk home, where I sleep. That will not be a solution.
They are all learning from one man, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Go to Rwanda. What's his name? Paul Kagame helped. You know him, he's your friend. Fought along with you in the war in Uganda. And after the war in Uganda, he went to Rwanda. He believes that he's the only visionary leader for Rwanda. He abducts, tortures, and kills his political opponents. Musevenism spread in Kenya, in Rwanda. Go to Congo. Museveni wants to guide. He wants to be the founding father of a foreign country. He wants to tell the Congolese how they should live their lives and govern their country. Go anywhere. Burundi. The only shining example we have is Tanzania. And you know how they've decided to completely be a total opposite to what Museveni has built. An empire is built in Uganda. You had that opportunity of telling the world of how sick this regime is. You didn't do that. Why? Why, Mama Winnie? Why? People have been maimed, just like Dr. Bass just said. People have been killed. People have been abducted. Others have been disappeared. We may never see them again anymore. Some of the close allies of Mr. Museveni have been killed. Some of folks who have come out to say the truth, speak out the truth, show where the dirt is, have been murdered. The likes of Chirumira. These are things you have to say. This is complete sanitization of Mr. Museveni's regime. Sugarcoating. So the president doesn't take the differences easily and doesn't make room for disagreements. One by one, many senior leaders, I could say most of senior leaders of the national resistance movement have either retired, walked away, or gone into opposition. No, some of them have been forced into exile. Some of them have been killed. Others have been bribed. Others have been working on gunpoints. These are things you have to say. We're not talking about President Emmanuel Macron of France or Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada. No, we're talking about dictator Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And he should be exposed. And in exposing him, then we know that the world will know, because the American people, the government especially, trust him. They think that probably he still has something he can do for our country. No, he survives of the money they give him to provide security in Somalia and other countries. They see him as a strategic leader within the Great Lakes region. But they do not know what he does. And with your voice of UNAID's executive director, oh boy, did we miss an opportunity. I don't know why you did it, but I hope when you have another opportunity, you speak to the world and tell them who Museveni is. We don't hate Museveni. No. We think that he's stolen from us. And when we try to raise our voices, he again employs tactics or techniques that were last seen in slavery days, like the torture of Kakwenza Ruchirabashije, of many supporters of Bobi Wine, of Honorable Francis Zake, maiming Honorable Betty Namboze Bachireke. This is what you have to tell the world. A man who has taken advantage of the disenfranchised Ugandans, who survives on gerrymandering and corruption and intimidation and coercion and lies and controlling the media. The clear and present danger of our country. Cracking down on voices of dissent. I mean, he's a murderer.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you. Did you enjoy what you just watched? I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa YouTube channel? Thank you.